Good morning. Hey, good morning. So, to some of you, this may be a pop-up TikTok live that you're like, wait, she didn't tell me. But if you were on, excuse me, just put some stuff in my hair. La la la. For those of you who are on the Destination Decluttered mailing list, you knew. Let me see if I can do that. There we go. Well, you knew that I was going to show up this morning. And I didn't get a chance. I will do a video with the next many TikTok lives that I'm going to be doing, but I thought it was important to show up in the early hours, much like I have started to show up for the night owls. I want to make sure that I'm also showing up for the early birds. So, Maddie, good morning. Going to work. Hopefully, this will help you. Pardon me. I know when I rarely do videos where I'm walking and talking and moving around in the background. I know that can make you feel like you're on the tilt-a-whirl, like, whoa. I will not do that, but I am walking into my studio now, and I haven't been here all weekend because I was helping my mother with her decluttering. So I'm just opening up my blinds. Maybe this is like my what do you call it, Mr. Rogers routine. But let me settle on down here to where I usually sit. This will look a lot familiar, and I also won't be what do I want to say? Getting you nauseous in the morning. So good morning, folks. Hello, hope you had a good weekend. I did some decluttering myself firsthand, as you may have seen. I am now back from that and happy with my progress, glad for what I did. I feel good, it looks good, it functions better. So kind of, what do I want to say? Like on all three counts, boom, boom, boom. Boom. Can you tell I just came back from Boston? So anyhow, here I am. It's 8:03 already in the morning, maybe 8:02. Both of my clocks are a little bit off, and I'm here to help you. Now, maybe you know who I am. If we haven't met before, nice to meet you. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. I do one-on-one coaching with individual paying clients, of which you can be one if you choose to. It's kind of awesome. I love it. I also have a free mailing list that you want to jump on maybe if you're interested, destinationdecluttered.com/join. And I do TikTok videos, both recorded ones and these pop-ups, these lives rather. Not all of them are pop-ups. My brain is still waking up here. Not all of them are pop-ups. I actually schedule them. So this one was scheduled and people on the mailing list knew about it. I will do a video later that will share that info with all y'all. But that's just kind of one of the many benefits of being on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list is to find that out. But why am I even here? Maddie, you got a messy friend coming this weekend, huh? All right, so make your place look good so you know what you're going to probably have to you're going to probably have to clean up after them, huh? But they're friends and you love them. I spent the weekend staying with friends, and I tried to be a good house guest. So yeah, let's start with as if we were at a coaching session. I know we all tend to accentuate the negative. Our human brain is like a car that is permanently out of alignment. The wheels are always out of alignment, and they are always often drifting towards the less than helpful, the negative, let me tell you what went wrong. Here's where I'm stuck. Now, there is a time and a place for that. Don't get me wrong. That's where coaching helps. That's where we get into it when I'm coaching with somebody, one of my clients. But what I want to offer to you is, what are some good things? Before we jump into the bad stuff, remind yourself of the good stuff, of the decluttering you did do. Or maybe the reason you didn't declutter was because you had an awesome, fun weekend and you're owning that. That's cool. I want you to feel good about the decisions you make. I don't want you to feel bad about what you didn't do. I want you to celebrate what you did do. So if you have any decluttering wins, feel free to show them, share them in the comments. We will cheer you on. That's what we do on the monthly Zoom too with the folks on the mailing list. We'll cheer you on. We will give you a high five. Because when you feel better, I've found when you feel better, you're going to do better. And what does do better mean? Basically, it means doing things, taking action towards the goal you want, the destination you want, okay? And if we haven't met before and you're like, what is this? And I don't know what she's talking about, but I kind of like it. If you could follow my my TikTok page here at Destination Decluttered, that would be awesome. So yeah, I'm showing up to ask you what you're stuck with, but also before we get into that, just think for a moment, just kind of course correct a smidge and say, what went well this weekend? What did I do? What do I feel good about? And then that kind of tips the balance to then say, when you get into the deep end, you know that there's another side to the story. Okay. Tenacious C is your first live with me. Well, welcome. They're pretty casual. As you can see, I'm putting on my chapstick. I sit here. I talk to you via the comments here, and I help you basically kind of get unstuck when you're stuck. When you're stuck, clutter it with clutter, and you don't know what to do. I've been working at this stuff for a long time now, so I can offer suggestions and tips and helpful things. And my goal is to make them feel doable so that you feel like doing them. There we go. Susie's asking me, hello, were you at a coffee shop in Richmond, Virginia on Friday morning? I was not. Friday morning I was here coaching, and then I was on the road. So if you said if I was in Pennsylvania or New Jersey or New York or Connecticut or Massachusetts, you might have seen me. But I'll be honest with you, I know that my look here, short hair, glasses, is a type. So I wouldn't be surprised if I have some fashionable doppelgangers out there. Okay, so Mimi is so stuck and massively depressed. So Mimi, I recommend noticing that the depression is probably making you feel stuck. So hopefully you're doing something to manage your depression. And I mean that in a loving way, because you don't feel well, you don't want to do anything. I know that myself. So hopefully you are getting some help from a professional if you are truly having depression. When you feel better, when you learn strategies and processes and methods and protocols to better manage your depression, you will feel better. You can help yourself to feel better, and when you feel better, you'll do better with the clutter. But I always start from I think the outside can be an indicator of how you feel inside, but flipping that is starting on the inside. All right, Musical Murray is saying, this is my first time seeing you. Well, good morning. So as I said really quickly, my name is Beth. I grew up in a cluttered household. I returned to that cluttered household this weekend to help my aging mother go through her stuff. You may have seen my rant about junk mail. But through the decades, and especially in the last 5 years, I have gotten so good at helping people get decluttered and stay that way in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming or unsustainable. And I decided to kind of help people with that all over the place, because I know, having been cluttered and stuck and overwhelmed and depressed, I know that it feels so much better on the other side of the story. So I show up and do these TikTok lives to help. So nice to meet you. Alrighty. Okay, so Pat says, I live with my partner and it's her house. Okay, she's got chronic pain, so can't keep up with cleaning. Okay. All right, don't feel comfortable cleaning because it's her house. Pat, ask her for permission. If you don't feel comfortable about it, what's going to make you feel comfortable? Notice the opposite there. Uncomfortable makes you stuck. If you felt more comfortable, you'll probably do something. So ask her, hey, would you mind? Ask for her permission to do things to make her house look and feel and function better. I would think, honestly, if you offered that to her, she would see how it could benefit her as well. But please honor that. If she says no, don't do it. Could you at least introduce the fact that you're living there and it would make you feel better to do things? Start small and do baby steps, and don't be like, wow, I'm going to clean the whole house, or declutter. But start with baby steps and ask for permission. I did this all this weekend with my mother. I didn't come in guns a-blazing. I was like, hey, would you mind hey, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Is that okay? This is what I did. Are you all right with that? I'm thinking of putting this there. Does that make sense to you? Because it was her house. When I involved her in that decision-making process of even getting started, it made her feel comfortable that I was going to do stuff that she agreed with. So try that. Yeah, try that. Yep, and as people are saying, Mimi, if they gave what they gave you isn't working, go back and say, hey, this isn't working. I would document how it's making you feel, so they might be able to better tailor it. But figure out what works for you, do more of that. And I say this about decluttering. Notice what doesn't work for you and note the specifics so you can change that. Okay? And thank you, El Prince, for helping her. Tenacious C is saying, not depressed anymore, yay, but facing a mountain with limited mobility, then ADD freeze at the amount. Okay, notice this, Tenacious C. Let me help you with this because I help a lot of people with ADHD. Having mentioned I just came back from my own family home where my mother still lives. I would not be surprised if she is full-blown ADHD, but she will not get tested because I also have it running in our family where it has been diagnosed and treated. So I've got it all. So notice two things you've just mentioned in this short smidge is the amount of things, a mountain of stuff, and you're freezing because of the overwhelm. Excuse me, freezing at the amount. To me, I call that overwhelm. Oh my gosh, there's so much. I'm looking at the mountain of stuff and I'm looking at that saying, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I don't even feel like starting because it feels so insurmountable. Okay, so notice this first, and this will help, is when you are feeling overwhelmed, the way I coach, I tend to move my hands around a lot, is I like to think of the opposite. I like to think there's a column here and a column here, and one's the opposite of the other. On the one hand, I feel lousy. On the other hand, I feel better. Think of this. The other thing is the opposites of words. So I think of over is overwhelm, and I think the opposite is down. So talk about this. So a couple of downs. I just try to make this easy for you to remember on a TikTok video, which is, first of all, calming down your nervous system. Noticing that overwhelm can make you feel anxious and you don't want to do anything. So if you calm down your nervous system, it can be as easy as taking a few deep breaths, slowing down, calming down, feeling better. When you feel better physically and emotionally and kind of neurologically in your nervous system, you will do better. Another way is to chunk it down. I'm all about the chunking down. If you're looking at the whole mountain, that does seem like overwhelming. It's like me thinking I'm going to drive from here to Palm Springs, California. Or last night when I drove 6 hours from from Massachusetts back to PA. What I did was I chunked it down. All right, well, let's see where I am in an hour. Okay, I'm going to do a halfway stop. Okay, I'm going to stop and shake this off. Shake it off, stretch my body, and then go back in and do it. So chunk it down. Notice the whole thing, but get started by chunking it down. That should undo your ADHD freeze, okay? Even if you are frozen, you're not really frozen. If you think you're frozen, move your body around. If you think you're frozen, grab one simple item and make a decision on it and get started. Undo the freeze, melt the freeze, okay? Ruth Samuels is also asking, how does one tackle masses of old papers and documents? Same thing. Masses, a little bit at a time. Don't look at the whole mass. I did this myself this weekend. You want to notice the whole pile. I made a pile. I went from room to room in my mother's house, and I picked out anything because I had made a limited scope of what I was going to accomplish this weekend, a realistic goal of what I thought I was going to get done. And I could have easily become overwhelmed when I walked in, and I frankly did, because she has not changed her habits. That's okay. I love her anyway. So the house was, I often go up and do this because I know she can't change her habits. So I go off and do that, but it can initially be overwhelming. But what I did was I said, my focus here is just on paper and mail and tax type stuff that came in the mail. So I focused in and I said, I am going to just gather up all of the stuff in every room that looks like mail or paperwork, not stuff that looks like it was printed or sent in the mail or official documents, what I mean. And I put it in a big pile. I took a picture of that big pile. It looked messy and overwhelming because it was all sorts of different things. But then what you do, Ruth and everybody, is you chunk it down. You take a look at that big pile and you use your brain. Your brain has this part of your brain called your pattern recognition and matching system. You've done this because as soon as you're looking for like a green shirt hanging in your closet, you say green shirt and all of a sudden your eyes will notice more of your green shirts. So I went through and I started making piles. Here's a bunch of her electric bills. Here's her water and sewer bill. This looks like it says important tax document. That goes in that pile. Oh, that actually looks like a personal card that came in the mail. I'm going to put that over there. I took the big pile and I made it into little piles of categories, and categories that made sense to me as I was going through them. Then what you do is then you make a decision on each one of those categories. I can help her by taking these bills, and now I can help her by getting them online so she can pay them online. I can take these tax things and put them in the envelope, and I'll help her with that. So a little bit at a time, but categorize these things. Chunk it down, categorize it. That's the chunking down that's going to be effective to get you started. There we go. I love some of these things that people are saying. Motivation Monday. Yeah. I love it. Rivqua is saying, I went through my containers in the basement, now down to downsize the amount of containers. Yes. And you know what's a good thing? Is that when you notice that you have too many containers, it means that you've reduced the amount of items that you have. Save the good containers. And then what I did it last week, you probably saw a video, is we emptied a big container that my husband had. It was opaque, which I don't like. I like the clear ones. And it was too big. It was too heavy. It was too big that when it was filled, it was too heavy for me to easily carry up the stairs. So what I did was I incorporated that container into a donation I was making, and I donated the container as well. So notice that. Really quick thing too, while I'm here and I see a bunch of people have just signed on, let me get my computer here started. Yeah, or there we go. As I mentioned, I do these Destination Decluttered TikTok lives multiple times during the week, and occasionally I will pop up on the weekends. I do this, and the people who are on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list learn about this first. It's a free mailing list. It's got good stuff. I like it if people are digging what I'm doing and are maybe curious about what one-on-one coaching could look like. I do a monthly free group Zoom for anybody who's on the mailing list. You sign up. It's very casual, but I can talk to you one-on-one as if we were on a coaching call to help you with what you're struggling with. So if you're interested in doing that, wicked easy. It's just, I'm just checking my mail right here, is destinationdecluttered.com is my website. Destination, because I love to travel, and life is like a road trip. When you're excited to get there, you're going to get there. You're going to enjoy the ride. You're going to get there more quickly. It's going to be fun when you get there, and it's going to be fun as you're doing it. Destination Decluttered. We don't want you to declutter. That's kind of always up in the air. But decluttered in the past tense, I am here and I am decluttered. I no longer have clutter. DestinationDecluttered.com/join, or even if you just go to my mailing list, my website, you scroll to the bottom of the page. There's a little form. Put your email address in there. Boom. You will be then on the mailing list and be notified, because between now and the next 2 weeks, I've got at least 6 Destination Decluttered TikTok lives happening. So when you know when they are, you can also then make time if you're interested to watch them. Okay. I love it. Abbott Elementary is going to declutter the nightstand while listening. Yes, please. You don't need to look at my TikTok live for it to help you. If you are busy and say, oh, well, I'm getting ready for work, I can't watch, there's nothing to watch. I sit down, I move my hands, I probably point to a little car behind me saying, feel like a road trip, what's your destination? I give you a high five, but I also talk about that stuff anyway. So if this is a time where you feel like you can get some decluttering done, Abbott Elementary just said clearing out their nightstand. Feel free to do that. I will not be offended if you do something else as I'm talking. But what you will notice, I hope, this is what I endeavor to impart to you, with you, when I'm doing a TikTok live, is how different it feels when you can quiet down the unhelpful backseat driver voice, and for however long time you have an encouraging, helpful, I got this, you can do it voice in your head that makes you feel like you can do stuff. When I do one-on-one coaching, I teach people how to quiet down that backseat driver and listen for, first of all, their their co-pilot. Sorry, it is a little bit, I was traveling all yesterday, so I'm a little bit muzzy-headed. But when you think better, when you have better words in your head, that can cause you to feel better. Not yippee-skippy all the time, but just better. Not so bad, not stuck, not overwhelmed, not worse, not over, all that stuff. When you feel better, when you feel like, all right, that doesn't seem so bad. I could do that. When you feel like I could do that, then we help you go and do that. Making a plan, chunking it down, setting a destination. So just notice, even in the short time, I'm here, it's 8:20 now, Eastern time, I'm in Pennsylvania. I will be doing this TikTok live for the next 40 minutes. So if you have time to listen to me, great. I hope my encouraging words and problem solving and ways of getting you unstuck help you to get unstuck. And even if they don't right now, maybe they've planted a seed to realize that there's another way to think about your things so that you feel differently. And when you feel differently, you're going to do differently. There was another thing I was going to mention, but I can't remember what it was. So here I go. Okay. Yes. Okay. Haley. Thank you, Haley. Haley's saying it's great to discuss functionality in a home that is unique to that individual. Oh my gosh. Yes. So when I ask my clients, when we get on a call, our very first coaching call is different from all the other ones because I want to identify what your destination is. So I ask you this right now, and I want you to think about this. You don't have to answer me. I would love it if you wrote it down to yourself, finding a notebook, finding a book to write it down in, even just a piece of paper as a rough draft. Ask yourself, if I'm not happy with how my home is right now, notice I'm not feeling happy about how my home looks. I'm not feeling that way about it looks. So how do I want my home to look? That's usually where we start. I want it to look better. I want it to look cleaner. Getting specific on that. Write that down. But also, please factor this into your destination is, how would I rather feel in my home? Notice I say rather because you are feeling probably not so great in your house. What is the opposite? What would you prefer to feel? What is the opposite feeling of what you're feeling right now? So if you're feeling stressed, maybe your definition is relaxed. Maybe it's too cluttery and I feel anxious. I want to feel calm, And also, yes, how does it function? Now, to me, functionality is so important, but it basically comes up to, one of them, comes down to making your home work for you. For you, your home, not me. I can suggest putting something someplace, but if it doesn't make sense to you, it probably won't work because that's not where your brain goes. So getting used to saying, where's a place, where is a home for this thing that makes sense to me in my home, so that when I go to find it, I know I would go to this area to look for it. Then when I go there, the decluttering hopefully has given me that I only have like the best pair of scissors, not all these crappy ones that I'm sick, saying, well, maybe I'll get them sharpened someday, yada, yada. Where is it? I go to easily find it, easily use it, and then easily put it away so that the next time, notice this kind of lather, rinse, repeat type thing. So when I go to find my scissors the next time, I have practiced putting them away so I can get them. So yes, and that needs to make sense to you. The way your house is set up, the way your kind of paths are in what you do in certain homes, and also especially the paths in your brain. Your brain, not anybody else's. Okay, there you go. Chunking is going to help. Set a timer. Where would I first look for this thing? Exactly. And ask your brain that. And then, please, oh please, give your brain a chance to answer the question. Don't say, oh my gosh, if I don't know it immediately, I don't know. Say, all right, where do I think that is? And give yourself a chance to offer it, There we go. Okay, Lisa Nelson, I need help with my child decluttering her things, okay? If you have good decluttering habits already yourself, teach them to her. Help her notice that even as simple as we are going to put away our toys after we play with them, you are going to put away your toys, and then obviously you're going to need a home for the toys, and the toys are going to have to easily fit into it, and then maybe you have, like a tote you put them in that you have too many, quote, and then, okay, well, the only toys you have can fit in this thing, which are some that you don't play with anymore that we can donate. Bring this up, okay? All right, Estes Creative Memories, ADHD Brain. Notice the drama, and I say this with love because I have it myself. Notice the drama of the ADHD brain. You will notice the drama by the dramatic words you use. All my paths are messed up. Silly. Shh, it's not true. Because if all your paths were messed up, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't be here on TikTok. You couldn't be writing that sentence. Some of your paths are not leading into a destination that you want to get to. Maybe they're a little bit more like they're not a shot from point A to B. Maybe you take the circuitous route. But you can practice focusing and taking a more direct route. I'm not saying you will, solve your ADHD brain, but work with your brain. How does it feel when you feel ugh about your brain? Probably doesn't make you want to do anything, does it? When you feel better about yourself, so embrace your brain no matter what acronym you use to describe it. Okay? Yes, I love it. Tenacious C. See, you got it going on. I try to tell myself, or even just try myself. I tell myself, this decision doesn't have to be the perfect place now. I can change it later. Yeah. And yes, it doesn't have to be the best home. You often will spend a lot of time during the process trying to find the exact right home too early in the process. You need to find a better home for it, and then a slightly better, and slightly better until that feels right. It can be an iterative process. Yeah, Jessica G. Notice how people can say one thing and do another. My spouse just shoves everything everywhere and then says, I need to be more organized. Well, the interesting thing is too, notice how they have a certain way of dealing with their clutter or the clutter. You probably have your own way. I am a one-on-one life coach, and I help cluttered people all week, all the time, for a lot of my time. So I want to offer to you Jessica, is maybe you do need to be more organized. Maybe you organize in a different way than your husband, your mate who's like shoving stuff in the corner. But it'd be like, okay, do I have good decluttering habits? Having nothing to do with them. What about you? Could you be better at your own decluttering or organization? If so, cool. Let's work on it. You can work on that regardless of how they do it. Then you learn a different way. Many times people do what they were taught. I learned from my cluttered mother how to be cluttered. I learned how to be cluttered. I didn't learn how to be decluttered until I got out of the house and I fell into jobs that showed me ways to organize items and information in a repeatable process. Now, I will say, I could make my house look really good on the outside. It took years until I could figure out, kind of crack the nut about what was going on inside, both in my own life, but also in closets and drawers where I would shove things. It's a process you may not know. You can learn it, okay? So just notice that. Yeah, and Estee, you know what? You're working on it. You're showing up right now. You're interacting with me. That shows you that you are loving yourself by searching for answers for the things that are bugging you, okay? There we go. Alrighty. So Jessica, yeah, if it is just my things, tell them to not touch your stuff. And then find a way that works for you to get decluttered in a way that feels good for you and works with how you both want your home to live. Okay? Yeah. Laura, oh, that's so awesome. Laura Gibbons Voorhees is saying, I've been helping my friend, and it's amazing how elated I feel afterwards. I will say this, yes, that's one of the reasons why I got into coaching, because I know firsthand how much better I feel on the other side after I do it. And so when I help people and I see that spark of recognition and they send me pictures and they share the stories of their progress, they feel good and I feel good. Who doesn't want to go into a situation where two people, two minutes in one, both of you feel better after it's done? So yay, that is so good of you to help your friend. And kind of up thread, like somebody noticed, is when somebody else needs help, ask them if they would like the help. Okay? Danny, I will say this. How do you keep up with electronic clutter, screenshots, emails, etc.? I have a different process for electronic. I will say this. I tend to, because I'm Gen X, so I know that I am in both worlds. Gen Xers, we are awesome. We are as equally as comfortable in the electronic world as I point to my second monitor over here, and my mobile phone is sitting on top of my laptop. We are equally as comfortable there as in the tactile world. However, I know that tactile clutter makes much more of a difference in how you feel than electronic clutter. Just really quickly though, about electronic clutter, think about it. There are different ways that you can find your documents online. By keyword, by folder, by whatever. You can find a way that works for you. But in the real world, we can only do one thing. We have to rely on our brain. We can't Control F in our houses and go, Control F, where are my scissors? Wouldn't that be nice? I guess you could say, hey, Alexa, where do I put my scissors? Where did I put my scissors? But Alexa and I don't work together, so I don't know. Okay. Okay. We are still struggling with my grandmother's craft and kickback clutter, 12 years gone. Okay, Michelle, I know how that feels, and I want to offer you this. 12 years of your life has gone by, you struggling. Stop the struggle. Let's stop it this year. If you're using your grandmother's craft stuff yourself, great. If you're not, right now, this week, this month, before the end of this month or next month, set yourself a timeline and donate her craft stuff to a place where people who actually are crafty can use it. I bet that would light up, like your grandmother looking down from heaven is probably saying, oh yes, please do that. I would love people to use those craft things I never got a chance to lose. Stop the struggle. Notice that if you don't deal with your clutter, this is the deal, you guys. If you don't deal with your clutter, it's your choice. It is. Maybe you don't know how to, but you can get help. And I say this because look, 12 years can pass. And who the F wants to feel like they're struggling with something for 12 years. The sooner you recognize it's something that's bugging you and making you feel struggly, the sooner you get help, the sooner you can do something different, and the more time you have feeling not in struggle. Okay? So notice you can do something about it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, ex-husbands can be kind of passive-aggressive assholes, can't they? I have one, I can say that. Okay. So that's when you say F you, when you kind of just, you're back in the... Every time you think of a memory of them, you can manipulate it. Our memories are malleable. I was listening to a bunch of my coaching training on my drive this weekend, and I was realizing how malleable our memories are. So we can use that to our advantage. We can squish them down. We can pretend that that person that bugs us is this tall when we're talking to them. We can do anything we want. And then even if we're just playing with that, the next time we kind of put that memory back in our brain, it has changed since the time we brought it out. We've done something with it. It's like changing a Word doc and then hitting, and then it automatically saves to the newest version. So Sherry Lawrence is asking about how to declutter clothes. And actually, here's a great thing. OSU grad 75 is saying, went clothing shopping, but removed about 25 items from my closet before the hanging up of the new items. Yes, a little bit at a time. How do you declutter anything? A little bit at a time by categorizing the stuff by, do I want this? Do I not want it? Let me just even chunk it down. So your clothing, take a look at your t-shirts. Do I want this t-shirt? Do I not want this t-shirt? Though I will say t-shirts can be a slippery slope because t-shirts are not just surface and stored clutter. They are also sentimental. So how about this? Just your plain black t-shirts. I wear them all the time. Go through them. Do all of them look good? Do they feel good? Do you wear them? Notice you're asking yourself questions. You're having a conversation with yourself that allows you to feel good about whatever decision you're making. Yes, I like this one. It fits well. I'm going to keep it. Nah, this one's getting kind of ratty. It's always been too short and it's got a hole in it. I can more easily donate this one. Having a conversation with yourself, but notice, what do you want to happen? I love this question. I have it written down. What do I want to happen? It's written down there, and I run pretty much everything through that filter. And the great thing is, it's not a greedy thing. It's not a selfish thing, because when you do better, you will have a positive ripple effect on the people around you. You can say, well, this is what I want. Will this harm anybody else? No. So sure, let me do what I want. Let me get my home looking the way I want it. Let me get my home the way I want to feel in it. Okay? So notice this. Okay, yeah, I read the clutter can be a trauma response. What are your thoughts? Yes, it can be. And we all learn. We all have learned to be cluttered. My mom is OCD with 8 kids. I bet that helps her. She probably doesn't have a lot of time to be decluttering, to be cleaning. Yes, notice what your stories are about why you are cluttered. Write them down. I am cluttered because. Notice the stories you tell yourself that keep you cluttered. Can you change some of those stories? You may not be able to change some facts, but you can change your interpretation of it. So yes, definitely, trauma is usually more about the severe trauma usually manifests itself in the clutter world in hoarding. Now, I say this very cleanly and with love, that I am a certified life coach. I see it's 8:34 real quick. DestinationDecluttered.com. That's me, Beth. I'm the solution to your clutter problems. I was trying to joke about being Taylor Swift, but it's too early in the morning for me to be as funny as I usually am. If you want to get on my mailing list, DestinationDecluttered.com/join. Next week on the 21st is when we have our free group Zoom that's only invited. The people on the email list are the only ones that are invited. And you also get first dibs on my coaching stuff, things like that. If you haven't met me before, hey, thanks for stopping by. Maybe you can't hang out. Maybe you want to hang out. Like my page or follow my page here on TikTok. Also, just as a heads up too, I don't think I've mentioned it today, that these TikTok lives are recorded and I upload them to Destination Declutter on YouTube. I think I have the one from the last time I did it. I ran out of time when I was on the road all weekend. So I have a couple, this one and the next one will be uploaded. So if you want to listen to these at your leisure, maybe when you're decluttering or you're in the car, kind of like a podcast, you don't have to look at the screen. You just have to listen to the words, okay? Just wanted to mention that. But the reason I kind of did that little, kind of commercial, detour was to say I'm a certified life coach and I've worked with cluttered clients for years. However, I am not a licensed mental health professional. There is a certain tipping point in the clutter world where I believe, and this is why I construct my coaching this way, that people who struggle with hoarding would better be helped by getting some mental health help. And the good news is that hoarding is a thing, a diagnosis in the DSM-5. So there are trained mental health professionals out there who know what to do in those severe situations of hoarding. I tend to get the people that are not hoarders yet. They may pretend they are, but I look at their pictures and I'm like, oh, honey, I grew up in a house worse than that. But I know what it feels like, regardless of the quantity of clutter, when you struggle saying, I don't know what to do here. I am stuck. I have these things and I have no freaking clue what to do, because when I do what I think I know what to do, the clutter comes back. So I know that feeling. I can totally help you with that. Okay. There we go. What do I want to say here? So it was a really good thing I just saw. I love it. I love it when you guys, honestly, here's a funny thing. If we were in a room together, it would be kind of annoying if I was trying to talk and present to everybody and somebody's whispering to somebody else, and this. It's a totally different dynamic when it's the comments here. And I do love it when I see that's such a wonderful group of people that, and it's often, it's never the same, never the same thing twice. I don't remember which one that is, but my Gen X pop culture brain just went that way, is y'all are helping each other. We are all here to help each other. It's not me being on the mountain and talking down to you. It's like, hey, this worked for me. Let me share it with you so it can help with you. And then you can share it with somebody else. OSU grad offered that, I can never find my face wash in the same spot, donate to an art school program. We're always trying to do these things, that are helping. We know what to do. What we know how to do, we can do more of, and we can share. What we are struggling with, we can learn what to do in that situation so we're not struggling anymore. Okay? Estee's Creative Moment says, my mom always had things clean and list driven. I want to be more like her. So notice about Estee, what you're saying is part of your destination, for people who are out cluttering, I'm pointing at the destination heart at the end of this road trip thing that I'm always pointing at. You can put as part of your destination, I want to have my house clean and I want to be more list driven. And then you can start making a list. It doesn't have to be so insurmountable. You can start living the life you want to live today. Now, I know that sounds like an infomercial that I'm about to sell you a product, but no, I seriously mean it. If you want to be more clean and list driven, do some cleaning and make a list today. Boom. You're on you are there and you've started. Then you repeat that tomorrow. Then you repeat that tomorrow and you repeat that tomorrow. Okay? You can do this. Start today, everybody. What is stopping you? Write that down. What is stopping you? Fear. Pretty much it's going to be a fear, I can tell you. But let me just tell you, much like a road trip, I run everything through the road trip metaphor. The sooner you get started on your journey towards decluttered, the sooner you become decluttered. Now, I love this time of year, not weather-wise, that's why I'm traveling a lot, but I love this time of year for getting stuff done in the house, because once the weather turns nice in Pennsylvania, I do not want to spend any time in my house having to work on projects. I want that stuff done, and when the weather is nice, I just want to go out and enjoy myself. I don't want to have to be spending a precious weekend in the spring or summer cleaning out my basement, cleaning out my closet, organizing my garage. I don't want to do it that way. That's why I offer my coaching year round. That's why, and this may sound infomercially, but think about this. So maybe you don't know how I coach. So I coach one-on-one via Zoom. You can be on any, where in the country. We just have to adjust 4 time zones. But I'm flexible. I work Monday through Friday on Zoom. So we can meet at any time and place that works for the both of us. 10 weeks in a row. I have a 10 session block. It's the only thing I sell is this block. But this block is kind of like a train car. It's like sometimes 10 sessions is enough, fine. Sometimes with people who are pretty young, early on, maybe all you need is 10 sessions. But if you have been struggling with clutter for decades, you may need more sessions. So then you just simply buy another block of 10. I only work in the blocks of 10. But the neat thing is just think, it's not like you have to wait till the end of block of 10 to get your result. After the first session, you're going to notice differences. And after every session, things will look and feel and function differently and better. So if you started now, so today's what? Oh, thanks. Oh, that's right. Tomorrow's, was it Fat Tuesday, Valentine's Day, Ash Wednesday, all that. We better eat the chocolate quickly, huh? But think of that. So there's 2 weeks left in February. Then we've got March and April. If you started coaching with me, and again, I'm not doing this to be salesy, but if this inspires you to sign up for a consultation, actually, let me make sure I got some consultation availabilities. How goofy would that be? Okay, yeah, today, tomorrow, Monday through Friday of this week, I have consultation slots available. If you want me to be your coach, the thing I'm thinking of is, even if you started next week, by the first week of May, your house could look so radically different and better and feel and function so much better than it does right now by the beginning of May. And then you've got May, June, July, August, the favorite months for me, when the weather is nice, to keep on working on it. But then you also have systems that the coaching isn't just about it works in the 10 weeks we work in and then it doesn't. I share with you. I help you build your toolkit so when you leave, you can go drive on your own. And if stuff happens, you know how to problem solve it. Okay? So that's a little bit about what coaching is like. And I just want you to get really curious. If you know coaching could help you, I don't know, whatever. If you think coaching could help you, what's stopping you from taking the next step? What's stopping you from getting to where you want to go to sooner rather than later? So you don't have to tell me, though you can. Ask yourself the question and listen for that, because the solution to your problem lies within your answer to that, okay? I love this. All sorts of good ideas for people. Yeah, keeping out of self-applied obligation. Yeah, release some stuff. Okay, notice that you gave yourself. Yep, decluttering has helped a lot. Irish Pink. Oh, hey, Irish Pink. Decluttering has helped a lot in my trauma. It releases the trauma. Say goodbye. Bye-bye. You go that way. Bye-bye. Let's move forward in a direction that we don't feel that way. Little T966 does say, does anyone in this group of folks get together in lives for support in between Beth's lives? I don't know if anybody does. I mean, go for it if you want. I know how much it takes to coordinate things like this, so if you want to do it. OSU grad, I like how straightforward you are with people. You make perfect sense. I am from New England. I was talking to my friends about this today. We are nothing but efficient. We may seem abrupt and we may seem rude and I don't know, less whatever, but I was talking about that, how different areas of the country communicate differently. And we're just like, I am succinct and I want you to get going. And I do this with love. I'm not being mean. I'm doing it with love. Like, let's get started. Come on. This is going to be fun. Don't you want your home to look better? Like, and again, I say all this. You can see I say it with lightness and love and just passion in my heart. Like, oh my God, don't you want to just effing get there? It's going to be so much better. It's going to look so much better. It's going to feel so much better. You are going to feel so much better. And yeah, if I get all abrupt in New England, I know what it's like when I was looking for coaches, when I was struggling and I didn't know what to do with my career or my life or whatever, that I really struggled with people who used words that I had to then translate in my brain before I could even figure out what they were. Now, I am no dumb bunny. I know what those mean, but I figured the simpler the words, just the sooner you get what I'm talking about. That's why I like to use metaphor and analogy all the time, because I like to talk about things like a road trip. You know, if you're stuck, what's going to get you started? Are you excited about where you're going? Do you have gas in your tank? Do you have a map? You know, are you chunking it down, or are you thinking you need to drive there in one fell swoop? Let's make it a road trip. I'm your co-pilot. I'm your encourager. And I teach you, I'm your co-pilot, but I teach you how to drive on this road trip, how to pull over when you're tired, how to get a room and get some sleep so the next day you wake up refreshed and you can go on, to chunk things down, to persevere through the boring parts, to persevere through the rainstorms of emotions, but then you get through the other side and then you're even closer to being, dealt with the things you've been avoiding doing. Okay. Joanna, I'm from Massachusetts. Keb, I don't talk about prices here. I think it's indelicate. But what I will say is that I have numbers of clients, and everybody who I've signed up recently thinks that what I charge is a bargain. So notice we all have different thoughts and feelings about money that causes us to make certain decisions. What I want to suggest to you is think about it. How much is your life worth to you? How much is feeling, how much would you pay for something that works that is going to, as long as you use that tool, it's going to make your home look and feel and function better for the rest of your life. You answer that yourself. You play around with what's the maximum, what's the minimum. Get used to the fact that things cost money. And we tend to appreciate and do things. I do this for free. And trust me, many people have been helped with my free TikTok lives and things like that. But if you want to get there quickest, it's like taking a plane as opposed to walking. It's like getting a personal trainer that you show up every week for. How much would you pay for those types of things? Okay. So I like it. Yeah. Annalisa says, my daughter keeps sending me minimalist room decor ideas. So I asked her if tchotchkes fit in with that. Interesting. It may for everybody. Everybody, you're all different. Yeah. Okay. So Tenacious, biggest struggle is where would I put things is all cluttered. No room to sort. Yes. So you need to, you can sort in like a 3-foot space. You don't need a big space. You need enough space that you're sitting down on the floor even. You're sitting at a table and it's a space, maybe as much as you can put around you so you can make space. Clear off temporarily, you may need to, when you're working with stored clutter. One of the mantras I use is, it's going to look and feel temporarily worse before it looks and feels permanently better. So you may temporarily need to take everything off of a table or a surface that is comfortable for you to sort through. You may need to temporarily move things. I did this at my mother's. I was using like a coffee table and she had some books stacked on it. So I temporarily moved those books elsewhere. I used that space, I sorted, and then because it was her house, I put those books back there. So you can find space. Where would I put things is all cluttered? Yes. And when you go to say, okay, I can't sort, but then I sort it and it goes here, and I go to open up that door, like a closet. See, that's a closet right there. A closet or a drawer, in your bedroom, in your kitchen, in your bathroom. When I go to open up a door or drawer, is there no place to put it? That's when you need to, in order to make room for what you do want to keep, cull out what you don't want to keep and donate that stuff. Okay? There we go. Annalisa has a folding table in the garage to sort out. It has to get ugly before it gets pretty. It's so funny. I see that, Country Fences, and then, who is it? Amelia Skincare is saying good morning, and I'm thinking it must be like when you get like a facial. I've never gotten one, but like, your face looks all blotchy and red because they're scrubbing it. Like you have to scrub off that stuff, and then ostensibly it looks better. Yeah, it has to get ugly before it looks pretty. There you go. Yeah, that sounds doable. I love it. Tenacious C. Notice. When you say that sounds doable, that's up here. Let me ask you this, though. Does it feel doable? You can comment on it. You don't have to put it in the comments, but check in with yourself. If it sounds good and feels good, sounds doable and feels doable, you're going to be more likely to do it. Okay? Okay. Lisa Labello Penesto is saying, I start to declutter. Yay. But then I get so overwhelmed. Earlier in this TikTok live that I started at 8 a.m. and I'll be here for 11 more minutes, I did talk about overwhelm is like the number one thing people say stops them. So I want you to think of what was the exact point where you got overwhelmed? What was happening? What thoughts went around in that moment? That's where coaching helps. Now, you and I aren't doing one-on-one coaching, so I don't know, but I just want people just want to make you aware of. There's a point when you stop doing something that you know is going to help you. If you keep on decluttering, you're going to be decluttered, but something made you stop. And it was probably a combo of thoughts and feelings. A thought that made you feel a certain way, or a feeling that reminded you of a thought you have about the past. The overwhelm. I'm tired. There's all sorts of things that can get you overwhelmed, but pay attention to, maybe I'm just looking at this whole solution. I'm looking at this whole problem too big. I need to chunk it down. I need to slow down. Maybe I need to take a break. Maybe I don't know where this goes. Maybe I am struggling. When I'm your coach, not only do I help you with that kind of life coachy part, so you can use that in every aspect of your life, but also 2 heads are better than 1. What I do is strictly not 100% life coaching. I am an expert at decluttering. So you get an expert to bounce ideas off of. I can be like, well, how about this? Well, how about that? Does that sound good? Could you do this? And when your brain gets into problem solving mode, your brain will come up with ideas that it may not have before. Okay? Yeah, exactly. L. Prince, notice how you overwhelm yourself. You don't realize you do it. For me, thinking about how much there is to do is what makes me stop. If you look at the whole mountain, you're never going to start climbing. If you look at the whole map, you're never going to take your cross-country road trip to get to the place you want to go to. But if you just put your head down and cue the Rankin Bass Christmas thing, put one foot in front of the other. A baby step at a time, a square foot at a time, a room at a time, a drawer at a time. Chunk it down to get yourself started. It's the only way anybody does anything. If you were to walk across the United States, it would start with a single step. And then you did it until you were tired. You'd sleep, you'd wake up, you'd start walking again until you got tired. You would lather, rinse, repeat all these little things. Okay? Yeah, notice the doom piles. Stop making the doom piles. Stop yourself before you start making one. But also go back to one of your doom piles and sort it out and do the things with it. That's a lot of what I did with my mother. I never knew until my sister was diagnosed with ADHD, and she talked about doom piles because she was all in the ADHD acronym world. But I was like, holy Moses, you mean just like the house we grew up in? And she said, yeah. So notice these. Start with the surface clutter. Annalisa is saying, when I coach, and I realize surface clutter before stored clutter before sentimental. There's an interplay there, because when you try to put away your surface clutter, what you may realize is that you have stuff on the surfaces because you don't have a place to store it, because you open up that door or that drawer and it's chock-a-block full. That's when you need to cull. That's when you need to curate your collection. That's when you need to say, do I really need all of this? Because I might have too much, that feeling of too much, not just right. Okay. Tenacious C says, what can we expect for the initial assessment? Okay, and I'll get to Heather in a sec. Tenacious C, I think you might be talking about the coaching consultation. My coaching consultation is free. It's really just an informational meeting that I get to discover, I get to learn from you what you're struggling with, to see if it's something I can help you with. And if I can help you, I tell you about coaching and how much it costs, and then you decide if you want to work with me or not. The consultation is free. I don't charge for that because the only thing I want you to pay for is the coaching when you feel like it's going to work, okay? And to me, putting a price tag on the consultation is just another barrier. Oh, I can't even afford that. What if it doesn't work? Notice all the fears that come up. Instead of being fearful, what if what it doesn't work is, what about fearful for living a life that you didn't love and it's getting too old? You're getting too old. They're never too old to start. Instead of being fearful of if it goes wrong, how about being excited when it goes right? Okay, now Heather is saying, what was that order? Surface, anything on a surface. Surface, then stored in drawers and doors, the stuff that you can have your house look good on the surface, but don't go into that room, don't go into that bag. Surface, stored, then sentimental. I like those, Annette, what are they? I'm too tired. Those things that all begin with the same name or the same alliterations. I like alliterations. So surface, stored, sentimental, destination, decluttered. I'm all like that. Okay, there we go. We always talk about pricing after the consultation, Pat. Fear. And it's cool. We talk about the fears and we dismantle those. And again, I don't go into any kind of hard sell. I know that if coaching is going to work, you have to want it. You have to want to do it. If I force you into it, you can say, oh, I was railroaded. So I don't. When you willingly get into the coaching and you say, I want this to work, it's going to work. It is. It may not take 10 sessions. I have clients right now who joyfully and love what they're doing, the pace they're going on. They're learning so much. They love having accountability and somebody to help them problem solve where they get stuck. I have clients that are now signed up for their 4th package. I've worked with them since last summer, and they're enjoying what they're doing and how they're doing it so much and working with me, and it's making a positive difference in not just their decluttering, but in so many other areas of their life that, I would not want to be pushed into something that I didn't feel comfortable with. But I would like to be able to have somebody I feel comfortable saying, yeah, you know what? I am afraid it's not going to work. I've done things before and it hasn't. Why is this different? Ask me all the questions so your fears quiet down. And then that little voice in you says, all it takes is all it takes is some money. She gets to be in your, how much would you pay to have a one-on-one with somebody who can help you with exactly what you're struggling with? That's what you get. And to me, the wonderful thing is, and the way I feel so good about my coaching, let me just get into this for a second, is I know that what I do and how I do it doesn't just set you up to be decluttered in your home That would be awesome. That would be great. That's be what you signed up for. I know that when I teach you these methods and processes, it's a way of thinking and going about in the world that has a positive ripple effect in every other direction of your life and for the rest of your life. These are skills you will have. You will never not have them if you use them. You will have these tools in your toolkit for the next decades that you live. So investing in those right now is an investment. Now, oftentimes people think of investments as a lot of money. Now, a lot of money is ambiguous. Everybody's idea of a lot is whatever. Somebody may be like, whoa, that's way too much. I thought you were going to charge $47. Somebody else may say it's a bargain. It's $4,700. Now, let me tell you, it's between those two. So that will help you. But when you invest in something, you do that because you put your money in and then you get a return on your investment. You get a turn on your investment. You put your money into an investment account, you get in interest. You make money on your money. And by investing, by ponying up the money right now in your life right now for the rest of your life, you will have a way of thinking and feeling and acting in the world that gets you what you want. It does. I've been using this all the time, and I'm telling you, I felt really good about this weekend helping my mother. I also saw my friends. I saw my sister. I leave on Saturday, this coming Saturday. I'm going out to Palm Springs again because an opportunity came up. And now I have the courage to say yes to the things that, make me give the life that I want. I feel good about sharing this with you. I don't want to be the only person on the planet living in a home that I love, having a life that I love. I want you to have that too. So let me share how I did it. And I don't know, you just pay me for it. There we go. Okay, we got like 3 minutes and then I go into coaching and consultations for the day. So if you want to get a consultation really quickly, DestinationDecluttered.com is my website. If you haven't liked my TikTok page here, please follow it, I guess. I always say like because I grew up on, Facebook. You can follow me here. But if you join the email mailing list on DestinationDecluttered.com, you get first dibs on when I release new consultation slots. But if you go to my website, DestinationDecluttered.com, there's going to be a thing that says work with me. You go there and there should be this big honking orange button. It says schedule a consultation. That will pop up a calendar. And today's the 12th, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I have scheduled, there are availabilities on that calendar that you can sign up for a consultation slot that feels well to you. We meet for an hour. We talk. It's pretty much like this, but just you and me. Very low key, no pressure. I want you to find something that works for you. If it's me, I'm honored. I will help you, and I know it's going to work. If it's not me, I will not take offense. I know how important it is to find somebody who you feel comfortable coaching with. So I may not be it for everybody, and that's okay, because I am it for people that I love to work with. And if my approach works with you, even just making you feel good and making you feel the possibility on this TikTok Live, there is a distinct possibility that us coaching together could get you where you want to go to in the shortest amount of time, when you're not alone, when you have somebody to help you problem solve. Okay? There we go. I love it. Yay! Abbott Elementary said earlier in the TikTok Live that they were going to clear off their nightstand during this TikTok Live. They're now saying, yeah, decluttered, cleaning, and repurposed nightstand feels amazing. There we go. I love it. Kara, more stuff leaving your house. Monday motivation. Lots of stuff leaving today. That means more plants coming into your Cape house. I love it. Okay, yes, Tenacious C, the consultations take about an hour. Okay, hope that helps. Any other questions, DM me here on TikTok. Get in touch with me. I'm here for you. I do have more TikTok Lives showing up. This is really funny. You guys, I'm going to share. I didn't even write down today's TikTok Live on my schedule, so whatever, I did it. Next, I have a few more coming up. I will do a video about it, but I will talk to you all soon. This has been awesome. You got this. You can do it. I know you can. You can do it.